to BA in Chicago. Good morning. You're next.
Good morning. How are you doing today? Nice
Doing
to
well.
be talking to you. Thank you. Glad to hear it. So I'm a Jewish American, and I support President Biden in withholding the funding. And here's why. If we look back at the 2006 Lebanon War, which on this very network, Daniel Pipes made many of the same arguments that are being made today about that war, and Dr. James Zogby argued against the war and said that we were digging ourselves into a deep hole and that we were doing more harm than good and that we're killing innocent civilians. And when we reflect, the BBC covered this very well. By 2016, the Hezbollah's numbers had risen in that war, or because of that war, from 1,000 at the start of the 2006 war to 10,000. And we're talking now about eradicating Hamas in this war, but really, when you look at it, we're actually possibly creating Hamas 2.0. And the other thing is that folks talk about the hostages and talk about the prisoners, and we need to be listening to the families who are saying that Netanyahu has blood on his hands, that the situation is not going to make hostages any safer or get any hostages home. The Palestinians' rights have been violated for years, and this is something that we need to think about as well, that there are many Palestinian hostages that are in extrajudicial situations that are being held by Israel illegally as well, including children that have been held for a very long time. So we need to bring all the hostages home. We need to guarantee, as has been talked about in the ceasefire agreements, an irreversible path towards real Palestinian sovereignty. When folks are saying that the majority of the population of Palestine, when folks are saying the majority of Palestine supports Hamas, that's absurd. In July, I think it was, of 2023, Zogby conducted a poll, and it showed that 10% of Palestinians support Hamas. And so when President Biden is withholding this money that is being used to bomb innocent civilians, women and children, in our names, as a Jewish American, I feel that it is my duty, my right, and something that my ancestors would value very much, that we stand up to injustice, because, I would also say that my family lived among Muslims for hundreds of years in Spain and in the Ottoman Empire under Muslim rule. And in our case, we were able to, some of us immigrated to the United States and some of us immigrated to Palestine.
Yeah, if this is a moment to stand up, as you say, to Israel on these issues that you bring up, what do you think the future of U.S.-Israel relations look like? This moment of pausing the arms shipments is described in one of the major papers as a crossroads moment for U.S.-Israel relations.
Yeah, I think that we should be looking to the Israeli peace movement and looking to notions of peace in this case. That we staked our diplomatic reputation on the Oslo Accord, and in partnership we should try to work with nations that support human rights. And in this case, we should be true to our word that we'll withhold funding, not in a way to say we hope to create more refugees in the world or create more difficult situations, but in the spirit of saying we cannot be part of genocide, but also we'd like to encourage lasting conditions that makes sure that everybody gets home safely and with integrity. We cannot have safety without integrity. Otherwise, we're sowing the seeds of future discontent and destruction.
And BA, I think I found the poll that you're referring to. James Zogby, the Zogby Research Group, October of 2023, his Washington Watch columns, he writes about the polling from July of 2023. He said, because we frequently poll across Israel and Palestine, we have data that shows just 11% of Palestinians identify themselves as Hamas supporters. 11% hardly constitutes all Palestinians, he writes, and he goes on to talk about the various polling that's taken place over the years. That's what you were referring to?
So that's exactly what I'm referring to.
Let's be out of Chicago.